Have you ever been anti-ghosted? We already know about ghosting. Ghosting is when you're seeing somebody and they just disappear.
Been ghosted
way.
many a times.
That's the best way to break up with somebody.
No, Jason, as somebody who has been ghosted numerous times in their life, I can tell you it isn't the best way.
But
coward's way.
It is the coward's way.
It is for the ghoster.
Yeah, for the ghoster.
And it also should be for the ghostee.
No.
Because
ghostie.
that way you don't have to get the real explanation of why they don't like you anymore.
Why in the world would that make you feel better?
Because then you don't have to hear it's because, well, I don't like the way you do this, or I don't like the way you do this.
You don't have to say those
Exactly. Then you're
things.
just lying.
You don't know. You could just leave some things out and not try to hurt the person's feelings. You just say, this isn't working out.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
There are ways to do it. I just think you're not a very good liar, which is why you probably weren't very good at it.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm a good liar.
I'm the best.
That wasn't even convincing what you just said.
I am a very good liar.
Yeah, that wasn't even convincing. Anyway, anti-ghosting is the new trend you need to know about, but it's not new at all. Anti-ghosting is telling the other person you don't want the relationship to continue. That's just called breaking up.
This is breaking up with somebody.
That is just called breaking up.
That's all it is.
We are going around and around in circles.
Yeah.
This is insane. Have you seen on TikTok
Oh, yeah.
how very recently there was and she's young, so I get it. She didn't know that it existed, but it's not like breaking up in this way is like so antiquated.
Right.
Where you actually tell the other person that you don't want to be with them.
Do you
It's
think-
hard.
do you
I get that.
Do you think
Yeah.
it's acceptable to break up right on a text message, or do you actually what's an acceptable form of breaking up? Do you have to be in person? Can it be on the phone? Can it be a text message? Can it be a DM?
I mean, I think the most appropriate way of breaking up is face to face. You were fine being in a relationship together and enjoying all the good easy parts.
Seems
and
like a
then-
waste of time.
Not really. I think you're just being a decent human being. But if you're thinking of, well, my option of just ghosting them is better, no, then I guess I'd take a
Then
text message.
A text message, yeah. I think
guess.
that I wonder if it's acceptable to most people. Squid, you're in the dating world.
Yeah.
Is it acceptable for a girl kind of to text you and be like, look, things don't really seem to be working out. I don't think, is that acceptable as a breakup to you?
Well, I was going to say, I feel like with the anti-ghosting, I feel like this is great with, like, if you're just talking to someone, you've been on a couple of dates. Not like you're in a full-blown relationship.
So there's a difference.
I think so, yeah.
I can see that.
Because there has been like a couple girls in my past that we've gone on 2 dates, like hit it off, texted consistently, and they just randomly go ghost. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I would much rather you just give me an explanation. Like,
Right.
just tell me why. Just like, so I don't have to like keep texting you and looking thirsty as hell.
Yeah.
So-
Like, just like text me and say like, I'm not interested, and I'll stop texting.
So a
you.
text is acceptable for breaking up, and that's if you kind of been hanging out a little bit. But let's say the girl that you were in that longer term relationship, the girl that did the keg stand at the party and fell off.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were in a kind of a, did you say I love you yet to her or no?
Yeah, we said it.
Okay, so you were saying I love you, so that was more serious.
Yeah.
You would a text message or a phone call be acceptable at that point, or you want her to meet you and break up that way?
Yeah, if she had texted me just a text message saying she wanted to break up, I'd been pissed.
Yeah.
Okay,
But, I mean,
what about a phone call?
I did. I guess it's a little like better. I guess.
But you
I think
think
that-
it should have been face to face, and it
Yeah,
was, right?
Yeah. When,
The only
I
way
broke
there,
up
because I
with
know
her.
y'all lived a little, there was some distance. So it wasn't
Yes.
really easy to just run down the street and go see each other.
Right.
Yeah.
I think in that situation, maybe a phone call, but it's all about the length of the relationship. Like if it's a couple dates, I think a text is cool. Just be like, hey, I'm not really feeling it. But I think once you go to the point where you're exclusive, if you can, it should be done in person.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, I don't think it should always have to be done in person.
You also think that ghosting is acceptable.
You don't
so-
think it has to be done at all?
Yeah.
Well, for the most part, yeah. But I don't. I think it's acceptable, no matter what type of relationship it is, to break up at least over the phone. I think that's acceptable.
Okay.
To most, no.
I think it depends on what kind of, like we're saying, what kind of relationship you're in.
Well, I think as much as it doesn't sound like it should be acceptable, I think in the big picture, when you look at how many people get ghosted or ignored, or you think Katie, for some reason, their phone just magically stopped working and all the cell towers are down.
Yeah, that, or they died. Clearly.
Yes, so they're clearly dead. I think in that regard, it shouldn't be, but a phone call is like, well, at least I
I'd
got
take
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems though with anti-ghosting, which is now the new trend you need to know about. Anti-ghosting is where you actually explain that you don't want to be with that person anymore. It does seem like we're just going around in circles, and you probably have seen on TikTok because now so many people are mocking it. And I do feel sad for her, for this girl who made this video in the first place, because she legit didn't know that landline phones existed.
Oh.
But she does think that they're a good idea.
Like a phone that's for the whole family that stays in the house.
Oh, that's a landline. Oh, that's a house phone.
Oh.
Somebody reacting.
How old am I? How old have I done? But people don't know what a house phone is. Oh, she explaining a house phone. Is that a goat?
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I mean, but
She didn't know.
No, do you
She
have a
didn't.
landline?
We did forever and ever. I think we were one of the last of our friends to get rid of our house
Does
phone.
anybody here have a landline?
No, not now.
Not
I used to
anymore.
because it came with like the internet and cable
Exactly.
bundle.
That's
you
why we
actually
had it.
saved money to add a landline.
That's
They're
why we
so
had it.
desperate for you to get a landline,
Yes.
they would discount their
They
other services.
discounted everything else, so we got a deal. I remember buying the phone, which was in like a dark room at Best Buy's where you had to go to buy this thing. And I remember we never gave anyone the number. So as soon as it would ring, we're like, telemarketer. We never
Telemarketer.
answered that phone. Never once was it answered.
Yes. And that is exactly what happened, is that the minute that you plugged it in, every spam marketer or whatever telemarketer in the area had your number,
Yeah.
and it rang nonstop. So we just turned it off.
Nope.
Yeah.
Just turned it off.
Why bother?
I know. So the landline. And then now just go ahead and let the person know that you're going to break up with them in person.
Yeah, grow some balls and tell me why, damn it.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Crazy trend.
You probably
Yeah.
don't want to know the real answer, but that's okay.
I think I would.
It's your legs, Squid. They're too
Yeah,
skinny.
That's fine. Just tell me, yeah.
It's your orangutan butt.
I know,
Yeah.
Squid, you like my wagon, but you don't have one.
Could be your bad breath. I don't know.
I did just drink some
don't know.
coffee. I mean,
Did you just
I
break up
normal-
with Squid?
Me and Jason have been having some spits and spats here lately.
He got so angry at you earlier.
This is a rough season for us.
Matt, you're not in here right now, but at one point, Jason stormed out of the room and said, "You know, this is really starting to affect our Friday hangouts."
Well, yes, because it had to do with the way he thought about where we should be
Some
spending money.
finances,
And we've been trying to talk to each other about. I'm like, you're so young right now, dude. You could like be a millionaire by the time you're like 40. You gotta like don't and like for an hour and a half on Fridays we talk about like 401ks and Roth IRAs,
God.
which is very boring.
Yes.
But it could
Oh, yeah.
but
I'm
it could
grateful for the advice. I'm
yeah, but it
grateful.
could set him up to be a millionaire like at a young age. Like right now, we would probably be millionaires. And all of a sudden, he says something that is so asinine backwards that I'm like, you know what? It's like taking one step forward, two steps back.
The disappointment.
Why am I
sensei.
wasting
Don't
my
ever
time?
change, Squid. That's the Squid we know and love.
Don't be successful.
Yeah. We like
the
you
squid we
broke
need.
poor and broken poor with nothing going
We
for
do.
you.
We do. It's more entertaining that way.